The Sailor Jimmy podcast is brought to you by our friends over at Rooftop Solutions. Steven Smolko and his team are the best in the roofing business. Give us a call at 832-512-5758. Again, that's 832-512-5758. Welcome to the Sailor Jimmy podcast, your one-stop shop for raw takes on current events, sports, news, and everything in between. Inspiring people to chase their dreams, share their success stories, and find joy in life. Now, here's your captain at the helm, U.S. Navy veteran, Jimmy Rogers.
Welcome everybody to the season 2, episode 4 of the Sailor Jimmy podcast. And man, do we have a really awesome guest today. Before I bring him on, I want to bring on Kenneth Kirchhoffer, a good friend of mine. Welcome to the show, Kenneth.
Jimmy, thanks for having me.
You bet. So next guy, really don't know how to introduce you, man.
I can do it, man. 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer.
There you go.
15-time world champ, 5 different partners, 35 championships in overall total. The king of all kings, King Buckeye. Nah, man, just Booker T.
Nah,
man.
man.
How y'all doing?
Thanks for taking the pressure off me, man. I appreciate that.
I do that.
No, man, we on this show we try to bring on people that have inspiring stories and have made impacts in the world and just been successful. So I had a chance to watch your documentary the other night, and quite the story, very inspirational to me. Made the whole family watch it. So for real, man, thanks for being here. It's an honor to have you.
No, man, appreciate it. The story, the innate documentary was something I really thought about, but it was something I really thought was necessary to be able to put something out there and let people, see that, watch you on television. They think, that's the person you are, but to see the real person and you go through struggles just like they are. You play the hand you're dealt, right, and you try to make the best out of it. And I think that's what I've been doing for the last, just turned 57 years old, man. 57 years, man. Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Appreciate it.
I'll say I learned a lot about you that I didn't know, and I grew up watching the wrestling in the time where I thought wrestling was at its best, at its peak.
It was
in your era, yeah. And I don't watch it as much anymore, but back in your day was when I was in front of the TV every Monday and Thursday night.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot about you that I didn't know. So, just an awesome story. I like to start the show off by doing a rapid fire, so I'm gonna throw some wrestlers' names at you, and we just want a one-word response of the first word that comes to mind. All right, you ready?
Yeah, man. Heck yeah.
Scott Hall.
Oh man, one of a kind.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Groundbreaking.
The Rock.
Next level.
Undertaker.
A general.
DDP.
Hardest working man in wrestling.
And Hulk Hogan. One of my all-time favorites.
Legendary.
Okay.
Yeah. And I can sum those up, relatively easy and relatively quick, because those guys, they made their marks in this business in so many different ways. You throw a name out there like DDP. Of course, he became world champion. He started wrestling when he was, like 40 or something like that, in his 40s. But it's not the work that he's done in the ring that I think Dallas Page is going to be remembered for. I think it's going to be the work that he's done out of the ring, as far as helping so many people, changing so many people's lives, and just still trying to be that person that's trying to help somebody else.
You want to expand on that more, because I'm not aware. Like
Dallas Page, his DDP yoga program. He's helped people, just say, for instance, go from 500 pounds to, 180, right. Change their lives around. Guys that have gone through addiction problem, got them off addiction, and guys that have gone through injury, nurse those guys back to health through his, he has a, what do you call it? Accountability house in Atlanta, Georgia, where he bring guys in and help them change their life. One of the guys was Jake the Snake Roberts, who had gone through so much, dealt with so many demons through his life, and drugs was high on that list. But to be able to change a guy like Jake the Snake around 180 has been awesome. And there's been a lot of guys in the wrestling business, somewhat like soldiers, man, wounded warriors,
Right.
and wondering where they're going to go and get some help. And Dallas Page is that one guy out there that the guys that they can go to, and he's going to put them in that accountability house, but they got to be accountable for everything that they do. I've stayed at the accountability house.
You've been there.
But no, it's a huge house. It's nice. And I went to Atlanta, and he's like, "Book, come stay at the house." And I went to the house, and every door, every room in it got a lock on it.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't need to be here too long.
That seems like a jail.
Yeah.
He's like, let me get it.
I'm serious, man. It had a freaking security lock on the outside of it. I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
He didn't want to stay the night.
But no, man, he's good people, man. He's a really good friend of mine.
That's good to hear, man.
Yeah.
It's good to know that there's we look at these, well, at least for me growing up when I was watching wrestling, like you guys are superheroes to us, but you guys are also humans, and y'all take care of each other.
Oh, yeah.
And that's awesome.
That's not my fault. Kill it, man.
He's always working.
Always working.
Always working. Always working. I know.
It's probably the wife.
Yeah.
It's probably the wife.
She's checking in on
another Hall of Famer.
Oh man, my wife.
on.
I'm gonna tell you right now, man. The house is crazy right now. Man, I knew I had to come here today, but I had to go and pick my daughter up to take her to the hairdresser before I came here. And I was like, man, I'm so pressed for time. And I knew I couldn't say anything to my wife because she's like ripping and running, zipping all over the place right now as well, getting ready for her big day, So I'm like, man, just shut up and get it done because it could be a problem right now. And so
when is the big day?
It's going to be on Friday, actually.
This Friday?
This Friday coming up.
Wow.
Yeah, the wife is going to be stepping inside the Hall of Fame.
That's a huge honor.
Next to the king as well, So I'm
next to the king.
Oh man, you know what I mean. The king.
I think that was my favorite character.
A king has to have a queen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great because this is something that's totally unexpected for her to get this honor, the ultimate honor, to be able to thank the fans for this journey as well as for me to be able to induct her in. It's going to be a great night for me and the kids.
Where's that at?
It's going to be in Dallas, Texas. So it's going to be right there in Arlington. So we're going to be heading out tomorrow. Putting everything in the bus, boom, and heading on down. Man. It's going to be a good trip.
That's why you're golfing.
Yeah, man, I'm going to be golfing on Thursday with my cousin, man. And last time he was here in Houston.
Who's better at golf?
Between who?
You and Ken.
Ken, of course, Ken. Ken's much better.
Now.
Once upon a time, but I'm sure he's gonna get it back. I'm sure he's gonna. But my cousin Steve, last time he came here to Houston, him and I played, and he had, first 3 holes, man, he was on fire. He looked real good, but by the end of the day, man, he was just beat up. And I just talked crap the whole time. So I text him. I say, this time, no crap talk. Yeah, right.
Hey, people underestimate golf. By the time you get to the back 9, you're tired. It's
preparation.
Yeah,
it's a preparation game. I mean, you can't just wake up, go out there and think you're going to play a good round of golf, off the sofa or anything, and then you can practice and go out and still not play a good round of golf. It's tricky. I mean, the game is the trickiest thing I've ever played because I've been listening to like this, mental way to play the game. And they say that the golf is a subconscious thing, and it's true. And it says, write your signature and then try to trace it. It's not going to be the same. And I go, wow, that's true. So you got to really be able to try to think subconsciously from a golf perspective, from a field perspective, because once you start thinking about it, you just loses everything, so it's such a mind game that I love to play. I enjoy playing so much. Yeah.
I feel like it'd be the same way, like you're shooting a free throw, you get in your head, you miss 1 or 2, and then you just keep missing.
Yes.
Then you got that routine. You're supposed to you follow the routine, but it gets in your head.
It's a subconscious shot.
What's Mayweather say? Hard work.
Yeah, easy work. Hard work's easy work. So, but for me, I love it. I love getting out and challenging myself. It's a game that you can never win. You're always challenging yourself to be better. And if you could just beat the boys, That's the only thing that matters.
Yeah, that is so true. That's so true. Just win the day with the boys, bro.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing that really matters, man. Just beat the boys, man.
Sometimes you got to talk crap to get in the boys' head.
Oh,
though.
that's what I love.
Get them
doing.
thinking. Get them thinking.
You know what I love doing? This is what I love doing. A par 3. I don't care, 150 yards, whatever, 180 yards. I love to talk myself up to the tee box as I'm doing commentary for my own shot. And so I'm taking the pressure totally off myself.
You're visualizing with my back.
And then I hit a good shot and it lands perfectly. Oh, they really think I know what I'm doing. You know, so it totally get in their
I've
head.
seen you hit a bunch of good shots.
Oh, man, you know what? It's a game that I love playing, and I'm getting close. I'm 57, and I'm getting close. I'm getting close.
You're getting more
What's
time.
his handicap?
Are you getting more time?
I'm getting more time, but I think I'm getting more time to practice a little bit more mentally, more so than anything. And I there again, I beat my buddies.
That's all that matters.
I normally beat my buddies. I think my cousin. I think on Thursday I'm gonna wear him out on his own course. That's the good thing.
He's going to be a basket
on
case.
his own course. And since last time we played, I've picked up about 20 to 30 yards.
Yeah.
Off the tee. So, oh man, I can't wait to just test it out.
I played yesterday.
Beautiful thing.
I was sending him videos of
Yeah.
only my good shots.
I'm trying to change the world, and he's sending me videos and FaceTiming me. You know what I'm trying to do?
Hey man, heck yeah. Hey man.
Talk about how you and Kenneth met back in, how long ago was that?
Cypress.
Yeah, man.
Y'all met through
Back
golf.
in
Yeah.
He was in the that was the heyday. I
Yeah.
probably saw it maybe once or twice a month
Yeah.
because you were on the road all the time.
I was working so
Tell-
much back then.
Yeah,
But I must say, sometimes you meet people and it's just one of those things, you know, where it's like instant, you know, where I don't know, you just click.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened with Ken and I. I don't think it was me being who I am or anything like that. I think
Genuine.
I think it's even still to this day, you know, because I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not too many people I get in my car and take a drive.
I know. That's why I'm so grateful, man.
No, because friendship is few and far between in this life. You know, if you die and you got 5 real friends, you're lucky. You know what I mean? You really are. You know, so I cherish our relationship, you know, since day one, and it's always just been about friendship. You know, when I see him, I give him a hug. You know, and it's you know, it's probably the hardest hug you probably get all year.
You're making me love him even more
he
because
makes me, yeah.
the fact that you asked him to do this for
I don't
me.
ask, but Booker and I, he knows I don't never.
Yeah.
And when we were talking about it, I was
Right.
like, you know, and I know what this is all about, and that's why I asked.
Right.
And he knows I'll ask you probably 10 years for something maybe.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
it's been,
it's not much though. But
I
you know,
just-
normally when my friends call me, I try to be there.
Yeah.
I try
You're
to
all,
be there.
when I broke my
Yeah.
neck, you were there.
Yeah,
You
I
come
mean,
out and inspire me, send me a
it's the
video.
least I could do. You know, I got a friend. You know, his name's RVD, Rob Van Dam. He's a wrestler, and him and I used to be tag team partners back in the day, former tag team champions. And I called him and I was like, "Hey man, I'm thinking about having a match, man. I need a tag team partner. You know, you think you can do it for me, man?" He's like, "Man, yeah, bro."
Wasn't he huge ECW?
Oh yeah,
Right,
he
he's
was, oh, man,
ECW.
yeah, he was the ECW TV champion for
Oh,
a
yeah,
long time. But that's
ECW.
but that's he's a friend, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you got friends like that, you know, you cherish it, you know, because it's few and far between, you know. So it's been a lot of years, and I lose track of the years because I try not to think about the years in the past because I'm so thinking about the future and moving forward and
Work.
having so much more work yet to be done. I always ask God just to give me enough time to finish my work, you know, and you know, so I got so much more work still yet to be done. You know, working with my youth, working with
Bringing
my
the
kids,
kids up.
bringing not just my kids, but my students, you know, and you know, my wrestling school, and being able to make sure, you know, they get off on the right track, make sure they get. I got like maybe 50 kids right now. That's really like my kids, and that's what's really, really awesome.
At the wrestling school?
Yeah, at my school, and and they're getting signed to places like WWE. This new group called AEW. They get going around the world wrestling, and every one of them, they want my advice. My phone's ringing off the hook. Like my phone's been ringing today. Like I was in California just last week, and these kids they was talking to me about, hey man, I've been wanting to come down to your school. And I was like, yeah, man, I talked to you, man. I got an email from you. And he was like, yeah, man, I wrote you that email. I said, look, man, I said, don't feel like I'm dissing you or anything when I don't get back with you. I say, bro, just bug me. Just keep bugging me. Yeah. All right. I say, if I don't call you back or I'll get back with you, keep bugging me. Right. And I got a phone call, a text message this morning from one of the guys. Hey, Booker T, this such and such from from California. Yeah, told me to call you on Tuesday. I texted back, yeah, I'll get back with you. Then the text message came in again. Hey man, this is such and such. I'm friends with such and such. Right. Can you get me booked? What I mean? I'm like, hey man, I'll give you a call back. So I know they're gonna be bugging me all day today. So it's like, I love it. Yeah, I love. What I do and working with young people is a passion, but it seems like my time is like limited, but I still feel like the work yet still needs to be done.
Yeah, and I think that, for you, that's one thing I noticed, not to bring up the documentary again, but I noticed that you're still heavily involved with the sport and you mentor a lot of young people, and I think that especially you take the time to do that. So kudos to you, man.
2005, we opened our wrestling school. Man, we're getting close to, 20 years of being able to work with young people. And there's a man by the name of Paul Bosch here in the city of Houston. He was the founder of the Boys and Girls Club here in Houston, and he had his own wrestling organization as well, the Houston Wrestling here, downtown Coliseum, Houston Coliseum, and he was like my mentor. I learned so much from, Paul Bosch as far as what he did for young people and what he did for me. And I never got a chance to meet Paul Bosch, throughout my life before he passed away in 1983. In 1991, I got a chance to, buy Paul Bosch's ring. And this was Paul Bosch's ring. This ring is over 60 years old. And it just gives me a chance to keep his dream alive. As well as keep me motivated towards, just staying young and trying to,
You ever put yourself back in 30 years ago when you were trying to be the guy that was unknown, trying to come up the ranks, and all the people that helped you? Does that motivate you to help the youth now? Because we've all been in that spot in our lives where we're like, man, somebody give me an opportunity, somebody help me, somebody answer the phone. At least for me, I've put myself in those shoes many times.
I feel like that might be part of it. It's this guy by the name of Bruce Gasarch. I talk about him in my documentary, and he gave me a chance. He gave me an opportunity. Right. And he believed in me, and he sponsored me to go to the wrestling school. And only thing he told me, he said, man, if you ever had a chance to help someone, do that. Help them out and pull them up. And I was like, yeah, I could do that. But when I went to wrestling school, I remember it was $3,000 to go to the school, and it was an 8-week course. And I was like, man, it's not a whole lot you can learn in 8 weeks. But for me, I got my foot in the door. I was lucky. A lot of guys just washed out. So I was like, man, I'm going to open a wrestling school one day and give these guys a half of a chance at, getting into the business properly. So my wrestling school is a 2-year course. And they get a chance to not just build, their wrestling skills, but camaraderie, character. Right. I try to mold them into positive young men and young women. Let's treat them like soldiers, and try to make make them move up the ranks.
And you have, you've got them in WE.
Oh, one of my girls just got signed 2 weeks ago, and she started with me when she was 16 years old, and she's only 20 now, and now she's in a major company getting ready to go around the world where she's been living with her parents. So it's awesome for me to see and for me to be a part of, and to know that I was a part of that happening. Right. But I always never really tried. I never try to take the credit or anything like that, because I always make sure that they put the work in. Right. And I always get the rub, but I never really say these are my guys, you know, even though they say, you know, I'm Booker's guy. You know, I'll let them say it before I say it. Sure. But it's just awesome, you know, being able to be in that position where I can help still this many years later.
I find very interesting. I was going to ask you, so you're working at a storage unit place, right?
Yeah.
And I don't even know at the time when you're working at the storage unit place, is wrestling even crossing your mind? Because you get approached by, was it your brother or a friend that says, hey, this wrestling school's open and you want to go and just try it out and see what happens?
Wrestling's the farthest thing from my mind. I never knew what I was going to do in life. Like I said in the documentary, nobody never asked me when I was a kid what I wanted to be when I grew up. You know, nobody never asked me that. And I never knew what I wanted to be. I never knew what I could be, but I knew I could be something. Of course, in life, you know, sometimes you make bad decisions, which I did as well. But I knew that I was meant to do something. I just didn't know what it was. I knew I wasn't going to be the kid that was going to be on the corner of my neighborhood for the next whatever, however many years. I knew that.
Right.
I just didn't know what I was going to do, but my plan was, you know, my training in the gym. I was in the gym working out. I was working out constantly, and I looked good. I was like, man, whatever. I was like, somebody's going to pay me.
The Sailor Jimmy podcast is brought to you by our friends over at Rooftop Solutions. Steven Smalko and his team are the best in the roofing business. If you've noticed roof damages or signs of roof damage, suspect a leak, or have neighbors who've had roof repairs or replacements, chances are it's time to have your roof checked out. Our team of experts will inspect your roof for free and, if needed, guide you through the insurance claim process and restore or repair your roof to mint condition, leaving you with the peace of mind that comes with knowing your family and your largest investment are safe and secure. Give us a call at 832-512-5758. Again, that's 832-512-5758.
So that was my thought process.
And nobody's going to outwork you. Nobody.
You know, I work really, really hard.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine, his name is Darryl Bates. He got me into the gym as my training partner, and he, you know, always quoted "Body Beautiful," and I lived by that. And I just knew working out in the gym, it was going to take me somewhere. I knew my body was going to take me somewhere. I got into bodybuilding early, and I thought that's what I wanted to do, and then I realized those guys had to diet.
So you didn't like that part.
I love Popeye's chicken way too much for this. You know, so
Popeyes is
I
big,
never see
man.
eat.
Shout out to Popeyes.
I never see Booker eat.
I don't eat a whole lot. I don't eat a whole lot. I don't gorge on food or anything like that, but I can't diet.
How do you not eat a lot and have such?
No,
keep a big
honestly,
physique?
today I've had a protein bar and 3 pieces of bacon.
There you go. There's my
amazing.
point. That's my point.
Bacon's great.
No, but I don't eat a whole lot. I try to, you know, I'm the same weight that I've been for like the last, 20 years plus. You
You never know if you might have to get back in the ring or something.
Well, I'm
You can
always
do it.
prepared. I'm trying to preparation is the
Phone
only
call
luck.
might come. You never.
The only luck you're ever gonna have is preparation. So I'm always prepared, to get back in the ring at a moment's notice.
So you could do it right now if you needed to or wanted to.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
most definitely.
Like your body could withstand the punishment.
I think so. You never know, what your body can take until you put yourself in a
Right.
situation. But I haven't had any major problems or anything like that. I haven't had any injuries or anything like that. My doctors say I'm pretty healthy. So
And you feel good.
and I feel good. I feel like I can do. Last match I had was 2 years ago, and I wrestled for like 20 minutes, and
Who'd you wrestle?
one of my students.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
one of my students.
Oh, you know what? I saw a video of you. You remember Johnny Bravo?
Yeah.
I had him on the show 4 weeks ago. I was like, man, I think I might get Booker T on the show. And he said, man, Booker T wrestled me when I was 20 years old at the radio station. They were doing some event. He pulls up this old video of Booker T slamming him on the
He was
Good. Poor Johnny.
He was one of my
superplex and slam.
He was one of my first proteges back in the day.
Yeah.
He literally was one of my first
He's a
guys
good
that I
friend.
scouted to, do some stuff with me from my wrestling company because he looked good. He was
Yeah.
he was young back then.
Yeah. He's a fireball too now, man.
He's
Yeah.
doing well.
Yeah, no, but Johnny, he's always been a good dude, man. We've always
he does all of our auctioneer and MC stuff for the charity. He's great.
Yeah.
My favorite match ever though with you is in the grocery store with Stone Cold.
That's not a match, man.
That ain't even.
That's
not a match, but that was my favorite.
Booker's in there shopping. He's trying to mind his own business.
That's all I'm doing is minding my own business.
Mind his own business.
No, but that's wrestling back then was.
That was fun to watch.
Wrestling back then was creating moments.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we did better than, especially this generation. You say, you was watching it back then. It was the reason why, grown, men watch wrestling back then and why they were having, watch parties, because it felt like you watching Cheers.
Yeah.
It was huge. You can watch Cheers.
You fall in love with the characters.
I never missed it, Booker.
All
my neighborhood, they'd all come over. Monday night, it was
like I say, it was like watching Cheers because you could watch Stone Cold Steve Austin come out in the Zamboni,
the beer trucks.
Oh, it was just crazy, that kind of stuff.
I'm just so intrigued though, like when y'all do stuff like that, like he comes out in the Zamboni, he's wrecking through stuff, he's destroying this, destroying that. Like does Vincent Mann or whatever just say like, hey, do what y'all want, I'll pay for it later?
Well, everything is structured, but yeah, we'll pay for it later. But we're gonna blow up a truck.
You built a Corvette with concrete.
Exactly, that kind of stuff. They just tore up one just on Monday night.
Yeah,
and they just tore up a truck. So brand new SUV. So it's just part of it. It's just I think it might. It's got to be in the insurance.
I just thought of something.
Good insurance.
I just thought of something. Did you ever go in the Piper pit?
I never went in the pit.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Piper's era, I missed that era of WWE. Just because I was, on the other side.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad I missed that era. I came into WWE right at the right time. It was perfect for me because I was a wrestler. There was a bunch of wrestlers in the company. The gimmick had started fading out a little bit. As far as wrestling goes, when I came into WWF, so it fit me perfectly to kind of like excel. But I had to learn character building, like having a fight with Stone Cold Steve Austin in the grocery store, working with Gold.
How did you learn that? Did they put you through classes, or you just?
No, they put you through like scenarios to where you have to learn it.
Right.
But it's almost like on the job training.
Sure.
To see if you actually know how to do that kind of stuff. So for me, there again, like working with Goldust, it was like two oddball characters working together, and our job is to let's see if we can make this work. Or it's like getting a character like King Booker and me saying, let me see if I can really make this work and really make people believe that I'm a real king, and to actually do that, that's the motive of a real wrestler. Yeah.
Did you get the robe back?
The robe? No, we never found. I think we did find the robe. We found one of my robes, but we didn't. I think the red and white one is already in the
Hall of
Fame.
Yeah,
the warehouse. Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Yeah. They didn't have. I didn't take any of my crown. I didn't take my crown or my robe when I left. I should have, but I never looked at wrestling like that. It's always been, it's like championships. It's all been good.
What's next, right?
Yeah, it's just, I just never really looked at it, like most people do. It's always just
from
been
like our side.
Yeah, from your side. Yeah. From my side, it's just a job.
Yeah,
I'm just going.
Good point. A lot of entertainers say the same thing. I mean, you talk to professional athletes that say the same thing. Like, they love the game, but it's also their job.
And for me, it's always been just my job. It's never really been a game. I did a seminar last week, and wrestling, everything is a test, and I probably had about 30 kids. And I go, and it was done on purpose. I was smiling really, really hard. I said, hey guys, all right, who's ready to have some fun? Yeah. And about 15 of them said, I'm ready, man. I go, you guys stand on this side.
Here we go.
There you go.
Hey, give me that phone, man, so I can cut that off.
Who is that calling?
Mayweather?
Man, that's what Mayweather. Who is that? Vince McMahon?
Huh?
No, that's the boogeyman, man. Oh, man. No, seriously, man. I said that. I go, you guys stand on the over here. And I go, that was a test. You know, I
Yeah.
say because, you know, I'm not here to have
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
You know, the guys that's serious, I need you guys on this side.
Yeah.
Guys, you know, that was the second part.
Right.
You know, so the guys that didn't say anything, they passed the test.
Yeah.
But these guys, they're just looking to have some fun.
You
know,
want the people there that want to receive.
I need the guys there that's really looking to, you know,
make a
work.
career.
Yeah, I had one of my girl students. She goes, you know, I think I'm going to leave, you know, because, you know, I thought this was going to be fun, you know, and I go, well, it's not fun, you know, all the time, you know, and I say, well, you might need to leave, you know, because, you know, we're not here just to have fun.
Yeah.
And she left, and about 6 months later, after she's gone all over the place, and she realized nothing's gonna be better than what she left. Nothing was better than what she left, and she came back and she humbled herself, and she's one of my best wrestlers.
That's
now.
awesome.
She's gone to Japan. She's gone all over the country wrestling.
Sometimes you got to be checked.
Well, you got to have someone to tell you, you know, look, you know, we don't need that. Of course, I always said, young people, they need a pat on the back just to have that confirmation, you know, man, I can do this. But they need to be told, look, man, you don't need to be doing that. I know that because I was that kid.
Yeah.
I wanted to be disciplined.
Speaking from experience.
I wanted someone to tell me, you know, look, man, that's wrong for you to be doing that.
Yeah.
If you want to do that, keep doing it. This is where you're going to end. I needed that. I know I did. I didn't have that, but I know if I had someone, and I always explain it like this. It's very, very simple. I say, when I was a kid, no one could tell me anything, right? You know, my mother, my brothers, you know, my father had passed away. You know, the principal at school, the security guard, nobody could tell me anything. But I say, if Muhammad Ali would have told me the exact same thing everyone else had told me, I would have listened. I would have listened.
Yeah.
You know, just because I was getting it from someone that I watched, you know, my whole life, and I respected him, and I know what he went through, and I know what he was willing to give up to go, you know, to go through it, you know, and I go, wow, now I'm in that position, and you know, when I talk to kids, sometimes, you know, I say stuff to them that they're, you know, the parents can't really get across to them, such as I had a referee one day, and he was doing a match, and you know, he was a new kid. He had been with me for a very long time, but he wasn't that good of a referee, but he did a good job that night. And I patted him on the back, man. I gave him a hug, and I said, man, awesome job. Man, you did a great job tonight, man. And he started crying. You know, and his dad was there, and his dad was standing right next to us, you know, and it was like, man, maybe that was something his dad never gave him, you know, a pat on the back and told him, hey, man, you did great tonight, you know. You know, so, you know.
He'll probably never forget that.
Oh,
the rest of his life.
Opens up another door. Then they can step through another door and go, and that encouragement.
Yeah.
And that's Booker. I mean.
Yeah, so, you
just
know.
keep getting W's.
That's, I mean, but we were talking in the parking lot on the last month about getting up in the morning. You got to do it. I mean, we sat there and talked. You said, you got to do it. You asked me how I was doing. I said, I work every day. You got to do it.
Bottom line.
Mm-hmm. Even when you don't want to. That's what really defines the great people is that do it when they don't want to do it.
It's when no one's looking.
I tell people all the time, man, when I wake up in the morning, when I open my eyes, I go, I'm still here.
You already won.
It's true.
You already won.
I'm serious, man. I'm serious.
Have you seen that video on social? They said, if I told you I'd give you $1 million, but you ain't going to wake up tomorrow, would you still want that $1 million?
No, thanks.
No, thanks. No. So you're telling me every day you wake up, it's worth $1 million.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm
serious, man. When I wake up every day, I go.
You touch yourself, you're like, I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, all right, let's get the coffee.
Let's get the day started.
I'm serious, man.
So he does drink coffee.
Well, look at life, man.
He's so healthy. I mean, he's healthy.
Bro, I mean, it's scary sometimes, you know. The doctor tells me, you know, I'm clear, nothing's wrong, you know what I mean? But, you know, you never know when your time's going to come, you know. You just got to, whatever you can do in between, you know. That's the only thing, that's what life's about, you know. We're going to be here, our time is going to come, but what we do in between, it's the most important thing. I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it really is. You know,
Chad Fleming, he's a retired Army. Forget what his rank was. It was a high rank officer. Says when you on your tombstone, you got the date, the year you were born, and the year that you died. And there's a dash mark in the middle. Because what did you do during that dash mark?
that's the truth, man. I
And
mean, I believe
that's what's
in
going
that.
to be defined. How you're going to be
I
defined.
believe in that 100%. You know, we're all gonna.
I think he was a captain.
Shadows and dust. You know what I mean? But you know, that's what we do in between. You know, it's like I'm a big movie buff. You know, and you know, your life is a story to tell. You know, and somebody's gonna read that story one day, and hopefully that story can, guide them somewhere. You know, that's what my book's about. You know, put a book out, Scar from Prison to Promise. And it's just from me going to prison and screwing up and, you know, saying, what the hell, how the hell this happened? You know, let's figure this out. Let's get out of here and let's move on. But
your story is the epitome of the ultimate comeback. So
yeah,
I was truly inspired watching it, man. I didn't know all that stuff about you. I only knew you as Booker T, the wrestler and the badass. And then I realized that you had a lot of issues when you were younger, and you turned your life around and made something of yourself, man. It's just a lot of hard work, though. A lot of hard work.
You know what, though? Life, I tell people, you know, my life before, as a kid growing up, I had a good childhood. I really did. Until my mother passed away, you know, that's when things kind of like started changing. Mm-hmm. You know, but I always say, you never, you know, you don't miss stuff you never had.
Right.
You know, so when I was a kid, the little that we had, it was enough. You know, so I wasn't like missing anything.
Right.
Of course, at Christmas time, you know, we may not have gotten, you know, the biggest toys or the best toys, you know, but we got toys like everybody else. Right. You know, when it was time to go to school, we didn't, you know, we wasn't getting like hand-me-downs. You know, my sister, man, she makes sure she got us brand new clothes. However she got them, that's another story. but we got them.
You do what you got to do.
Shout out to sister.
I'm just keeping it real.
Yep.
You know, life was good. You know, and then I lost my mom. Things changed, of course, and then you're in the middle of like a storm. That's, you know, but other than my mother passing away, I don't think I would change anything. I don't know what my life would be at now, though. You know what I mean? If the situations were different. You know, if anything differently had changed in my life, I probably perhaps wouldn't be here having this conversation.
Right.
Honestly, you know, so I can't say, you know, anything other than, you know, my mother passing away. I wouldn't change anything, you know. But I wonder, you know, if my mother not passing away when she did, what would my life have turned out to be as well?
That'd be very interesting.
So it's like, you know, a freaking tree got so many different branches, you know what I mean? So just which way you take, you know, it's crazy.
What is so you said your life is a story. So if they made a movie about you, what would the movie be called?
Sucker.
Right. You're right. Hey, you're right next to him. He'll let you have it.
Sucker is good, man. I don't know, man. I never thought about you know, a movie or anything.
Can you dig it?
That probably be close, but I don't know. It would have to be something. I don't know. It would have to be something powerful. That's something I'd have to think about, just because I'm all about feel and making people feel a certain way when they hear, you know, something. And my story is there again. Like with the A&E documentaries, you know, a lot of the stories were, you know, stories that, you know, you leave, you know, maybe scratching your head a little bit. But I thought I wanted my story to, you know, leave people feeling like they could overcome, you know, anything. They could break down a freaking wall if they had to. Yeah. You know, there is no glass ceiling. Right. And I think the story would have to be something like that. The name of it, you know, the title would have to be something like that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you did the A&E. I told when the A&E came out. I mean, you've seen it. We had Kleenex everywhere. I told you that.
Hey man,
It's
my
so
wife
motivational.
cried the
People
whole
need to hear that
time,
story.
But then I thought I knew Booker too.
There's
I thought I knew you, and then I watched that, and that's where the motivation comes from.
That's what drives me, man. That's what drives me every day. Where I came from. It's not like I never think about going back or anything like that. I'm always there. I'm always in my old neighborhood, just because I never want to forget where I came from. But I'm just humble, man. I'm just humble in this life that I figured it out somehow. I don't know how. I had no direction. But I think as crazy as it sounds. Really, as crazy as it sounds, I learned so much in prison. That time in prison, I learned so much about myself. And most of it was that I felt like I could do anything if I. Well, that's one of the lessons that I learned in prison. One of the convicts said, "Man, when you get out of here, you got blood." He said, "You can do anything, man. You just act like it. 9 times out of 10, people believe it. So I was like, man, it's true, And then I got out and I started working at the warehouse for this guy who helped me out. He had a buddy who was an actor. He got small parts and stuff and whatnot. He was came to the warehouse where I was working at for this guy, and he was like, "Man, I got this movie part, man. I think, man, you'll be perfect for it, man." And I was like, "What are you talking about, man?" I'm freaking sweeping and stocking, getting people, stalls for their furniture and stuff, and now you want me to go read some lines for a movie that I just got out of prison. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, "No, man.
What is going on?"
I'm serious.
Hit him with a chair.
No, but
Hit him with a chair.
he goes, "No, man, it's gonna be say go to this hotel off of I can't think of the name of the street. Go to this hotel, just check it out, read these lines. And what do you got to lose?" And I go, "All right, man."
Was he offering you any pay?
There was no pay at this point in time, and I went to this hotel, went in, I read the lines, I went home, and I'd be doggone. About 3 weeks later, I got a phone call from a producer from Paramount Pictures.
Wow.
Wanted me to be in the Chuck Norris movie. and that's what 3 was for. And I was like, "You got to be kidding me."
Nah.
All I did was act like I was an actor.
Yeah.
And read it. Next thing you know, I got the part.
You just never know.
Just like that. And I was like, wow. Dude was right. Because I'm not an actor. I just act like one. And I tell my students all the time now, that's one of the things I tell my students all the time. I say, you don't have to actually be a professional wrestler. You just have to act like one.
Yeah.
But you got to do it very well. You got to be convincing. So we got to go through all of the steps, and that opens their mind to they go, well, I don't have to be a Olympic wrestler. I can still do this.
I feel like you can apply that concept to a lot of things in life.
Yeah, I've applied that concept to everything because just like say, for instance, I'm not the best reader, okay? But if I act like Camelot, I can read perfectly fine. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I can read the words so much better if I'm speaking it in a certain tone.
Right.
But for me, I'm like dyslexic and see it backwards sometimes, and certain words I might miss. But if I act like a character and read it's totally perfectly fine. I don't understand that. But being able to act like it, sometimes you can believe it.
Right.
So that's what life is.
For sure.
And you can sell it.
Oh, and you can sell it. Yeah, I mean, for me, that's been my whole existence in professional wrestling because I never played any sports. I was in the band.
Oh, really?
Come on.
You look like a linebacker.
I was the drum major.
Like, dang, man, if I was your football coach, I'm coming to. Hey, man, come on.
I never played any sports
football.
because I didn't have the discipline.
Yeah.
To play sports. I didn't have the discipline to get in the classroom and bang out the books,
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, that's not gonna work out. But I could be in the band, you know what I mean?
What's it like being in the middle of that ring in a sold out arena with 20,000 people screaming and raising the roof? I mean, what's that feel like? I mean, that's got to be the coolest thing. You got to miss that, man. I mean,
you know what?
I just always wonder, what's that feel like?
I loved it. It was great. For me, I don't miss it from that perspective, because it was really nerve wracking.
Right.
For me, like a lot of people may look at it a lot differently, but for me, every time I went to the ring, I was really nervous. I was really nervous. I was really kind of scared. I was on the edge.
Yeah. So the more matches you had, it never changed.
It never went away.
Never went away.
Yeah. So when I got a chance, like now, I feel great. I love being, at this stage where I'm at right now. I can go to the arena and I don't have to ever think about wrestling in the ring ever again. I love that feeling now.
Yeah.
Because I'm not on edge. I'm not like nervous. I'm not scared. Because I always want to be the best. I always want to do it better than everybody else. And to do that, you had to become it.
Right.
And it wasn't like, like say for instance, somebody said, "What are you going to do out there tonight?" I don't know what I'm going to do out there tonight. I wasn't one of those type of wrestlers.
You're so focused on your job.
I was focused on the fans and thinking about how can I make the fans feel. I tell my students today, I say, my ultimate, thrill was to be able to look in the audience and actually see a real tear coming out of someone's eye.
Yeah.
And that takes skill to be able to make a fan feel a certain way inside to where it triggers their brain to create the tear that rolled out. That takes a lot of work. And for me, it's such an art. I had no time to think about anything other than the pressure that I was under to go out and try to create magic.
Did you ever have a moment in the ring whenever you were like thinking back? I'm talking about in the moment, in the ring. You're in the ring, people are screaming and yelling, you want a match or something, and like you're thinking back, man, is this real life? Is this, because coming up from where you came from, I mean, I know you worked very hard, but as a kid, you faced all the odds against you. And to get to that ultimate moment,
probably winning the world title. Probably winning the world title for the first time. I probably felt that way because I never dreamt of being the world champion. I never thought about being the world, winning the world title. It just wasn't my thought process. I wanted to be the best wrestler.
Yeah.
But I never thought about winning the world title because I wouldn't necessarily say because it was something that was unattainable, but I just never let that be my motivation.
Right.
I always thought if I was the best wrestler, everything else just comes along with it. Normally, that's the way life works.
Right.
And normally at every job, if you're the best,
you're gonna get there.
They're gonna pay you to do what you do.
Yeah.
And for me, I always banked on my talent. I always say, man, I know how good. I'm better than all these suckers, man.
All these suckers.
No, I mean, I just always.
I know you didn't mean.
I just always felt that way, and even as a young wrestler, I would tell the wrestlers in the locker room, man, I'm the best. I'm like, go follow that, And I don't know why I would talk like that or why I would do that kind of stuff, but I knew how good I was at going out and performing, and I knew that I could compete with anybody in the world doing this because there again, nobody never asked me what I wanted to be in life. But I knew once I found professional wrestling, I could do this, and I could do this very well. I was exceptional.
You had something.
I knew how good I was from the beginning, from coming out of the wrestling school. I knew I was better than everybody. Right. In my class, it was just, I don't know. Yeah. It was just, I tell people it was like deja vu. It was like a place that I had been my whole life, and I had never been there before. Yeah. I didn't have to. I've never practiced. Once I left the wrestling school, I don't practice. I don't think about it. I don't go home and write stuff down. It's just like in my head, like the Matrix, and that's what's crazy about when I work with my students. And I'm like, why can't you get this? You should know this. And I'm like,
because it was so easy for you.
Yeah, exactly. And then I have to think for a second. I'm like, wait a minute, this kid's not me. So I'm going to have to explain it 4 or 5 different ways in order for them to understand it, you know. So
oh man, I can't tell you how many times I have that thought. Not in wrestling, but other avenues of life.
yeah.
Why don't they get it?
Yeah, I'm like, come on, it's simple. Why? And I swear, and then I have to catch myself and go, wait a minute, this kid's not me, you know,
Can't make somebody
because I really picked it up like it was like a duck out in water, you know. It was second nature. It was like just natural for me to be a wrestler. And then when I realized you can get paid to do it.
Then you really liked it.
He really.
He's all in.
I was like, wait a minute. What?
Let's go.
You want to pay me how much? I was like, okay, I'm in. As well as my first trip out of, on a plane. First time I'd ever been on a plane. Other state I'd ever been in was out of Texas, was Louisiana, which that's where I was born. I was on a plane on my way to Japan to wrestle in 1991, and I had never did anything. I had never been anywhere, and I'm on a plane. I'd never been on a plane before, and I'm on a 15-hour flight. On my way to Japan to go wrestle. Yeah, I'm like, wow.
How did y'all travel when y'all, like, let's say Monday night's over, you go to the next town Thursday night. Did y'all get on a bus or did y'all fly?
You have a rental car. According to how many miles it is.
Yeah.
If it's over 300 miles, you would fly. Yeah. If it's under 300, you would drive.
Gotcha.
So, you know, but if you're like overseas, or if you're like a top guy.
No, I'm saying like in the WWE, like you're one of the main superstars.
Same thing. Yeah. You know, if it's under 300 miles, you drive. It's over. Or a lot of those guys got big buses, you know, which take them around. Or if you're overseas, you know, you get there and you're on a bus going all over the place, you know, like a tour.
Right.
You know, but it was radical, man. It was like, I mean, come on, a 27-year-old kid who
never
out
flown
of the ghetto,
15,
ain't never been anywhere, and he's in Japan. What the hell is this?
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, wow, this is the way life is. You know what I mean? Go from literally nothing to being, you know, known pretty much all over the world. It was in a pretty much relatively short amount of time, you know, because it was crazy for the longest. I still had my 6-day-a-week job, and I was famous around the world. Yeah. I would go places like to the Virgin Islands because I was on television on ESPN, right. And people would know me, and I was like a big star. And I was still, you know, freaking working a 6-day-a-week job at home, and I'm like, wow. And then I was like, man, maybe I should think about quitting my job. Yeah. You know, that's how big it was getting, but I was still scared to quit my job because I was loyal. Yeah, you know, I was like, man, you know, I think I might have to quit my job, you know. So it was one of those type of deals, you know.
It just so his story just proves that anything is possible. Like no matter what situation you're in, no matter how far down you're in that rabbit hole, you can climb yourself out and make something of yourself. I mean, no matter what.
Yeah, you're gonna make mistakes in life. You're gonna get arrested. Some people are gonna go to jail. Some are gonna go to prison. But what are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do?
One of the biggest problems is blaming somebody else.
Somebody else.
Blaming your parents, blaming your friends.
Accept the responsibility.
Yeah.
You control yourself.
Yeah. You got to be. Sometimes you got to be able to figure it out as far as how do I get out of this. You know, and sometimes, okay, of course we grow up, we're young, we have to, go through that stage, you know, but, you know, my kids right now, they're 11 years old and they're pretty astute. And sometimes you got to figure out, I know I found myself 13 years old and the world was like wide open for me. Right. I didn't have to do anything I didn't want to do. And I'm like, okay, I got to figure this out. I'm serious. Even at that age, I was trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to do, to figure out how to eat and, clothes on my back, I mean, my mother, man, she paid rent, you know what I mean? Right. I mean, every month, I got to figure out this world, so I think that's one of the biggest problems is blaming someone, and it's a multitude. Yeah. It's a multitude of problems, especially in the Black area. The fathers not being there, to raise their kids. That's one of the biggest problems. That we talk about the the problem, just say for instance in Chicago with the gangs and whatnot,
shootings,
and kids getting killed and whatnot, but most people don't think about anything but that only. They don't realize how they got into that situation. Most of them are born into that situation.
Right.
And then you just say, for instance, you take a gang member. You think a gang member don't want his kid to go to college, but if he doesn't have that resource for his kid to go to college, what is he going to do? Ride or die. That's just way life is.
Right.
We got to eat. We got to figure it out. And then you fall into that cycle, and it's a cycle that's going over and over and over. How do you fix that? People don't look at that more than anything, and I think that's where we need to think about if we're going to save that next generation.
Do you have any ideals that you've thought of that would be good for as far as trying to fix those?
Well, one thing I do know with young people, being one myself, once you get past a certain age, it's hard to reel you back in.
Yeah.
So you got to start young. You got to start with them young, because I really feel like once you get past a certain age, it's really, really hard, to reel one in, especially just say, for instance, reel one in that's been making money, And
well, how did you reel yourself in? I mean, you were there. You were doing those things you shouldn't have been doing.
Well,
I mean, what reeled you in?
What?
Or was it just something your mom taught you when you were young?
That is right there. Having that mentorship and someone telling you, hey, you shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
Okay. My mother.
You ultimately knew better.
My mother taught me. She used to say, Junior, you know right from wrong.
Yeah.
It's no gray area with that.
Yeah.
It really isn't. It really isn't.
Yeah. No.
If you got a brain,
good and bad,
and if you're doing this and if it's wrong, you can get in trouble for it and something can happen. I tell people all the time, you put yourself in a situation, something could actually happen. No matter what it is, you put yourself in a situation, it could happen.
Yeah.
Whether you want it to or not, you put yourself in a situation. So for me, I just felt like I got to take myself out of these situations in order for things not to ever happen to me again, like me ending up in prison. Right. If I stay in that same environment doing those same things,
you'll get the same results.
Yeah, it's the only thing that's going to happen. And everybody that that I was with, that was part of my crime, they did the same thing. After that, they end up getting in trouble. I left the city. I went to Atlanta, Georgia. I got away from everybody that I knew, in order to try to make a change for me.
Right.
And there again in life, the only person you can really count on in certain situations is yourself.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
So
that's so true.
It really is. So I say, let me just get away from everybody that I know.
Big reset button.
And it was crazy. And why did I do it? I don't even know why. But I left the city, got away from Houston. I went to Atlanta, got closer to wrestling. I said, let me really throw myself into this because this might end up being something. This might be my ticket.
Right.
And end up being my ticket. But I had to make some decisions in order to make that happen. And one of them, like I said, the biggest one was getting away from everybody that I knew. I didn't know anybody in Atlanta. No way.
Like you said, hit the reset button.
Reset button. Yeah. Change the surroundings.
Yeah.
We all have to.
Yeah.
I mean, don't expect different results doing the same things over and over again. You got to change it.
Yeah.
Well, Booker T, I want to congratulate you on a successful career, man. Thanks for coming out and spending some time with us today. Really, really appreciate it. It's an honor to have you on this show. And Kenneth, thank you for your part in it and being here as well.
Thanks for having me. I love Booker and thank you.
Hey, man.
You're my brother. It's
I love you,
an
bro.
honor having you here.
Heck yeah, man.
And Charmel.
Yeah.
Got two Hall of Famers in
Royalties,
the house. I got to ask you, when you won the championship for the first time, did you take the belt with you after that night?
Yeah, I took it every time.
Do you still have it?
No, I don't have it.
You got to give it back.
I got a replica. But until I lost it, every time you win the belt, you keep take it home. Yeah. Well, I should have hijacked the TV title back in the day because that's the one that like near and dear to my heart. That kind of like put me on the map back in the day. But now, man, I wasn't. Material things there again, man.
Yeah.
Right.
I wasn't a material guy. I love having the championship, but I think I love the title even more. the
Yeah.
world champion.
Standing on the road.
Hey, well, thanks for joining us today in the Tex Rex Cool Seat. That's Douglas Vaughn over there in the studio today. He's our sponsor. He makes the show happen. So thank you, Tex Rex. Shout out to you guys.
Here in Texas, it seems each year the weather's becoming more and more extreme. Heating, air conditioning, and refrigeration maintenance, repair and replacement can no longer be left to your run-of-the-mill contractor. In today's world, you need a company that can provide not only top-notch services, but also provide excellent customer service and is reliable, honest, and professional. Well, folks, we're here to tell you, Texas Refrigeration and AC Services, better known as TX Racks, is the company you've been looking for. Texas-born, Texas-owned. With 30-plus years of experience, TX Racks offers a full range of services for residential and commercial heating, cooling, and refrigeration. If you're looking for the best of the best to handle your preventative maintenance, which will keep your equipment operating efficiently and prevent unnecessary breakdowns, if you're looking for a company that is well-trained in indoor air quality to keep your family and employees healthy and happy, if you're looking for a company with integrity, reliability, and great customer service, look no further. TX Racks has you covered. They offer a full range of air conditioning, heating, and refrigeration services, using the most up-to-date technology and training, with a mobile app to keep you informed about the arrival of your technician and the expert knowledge and experience to evaluate the quality of air you're breathing, along with always providing a live professional to take your call. TX Racks keeps Texas homes and businesses warm in the winter, cool in the summer, and keeps all of us covered with the best warranties in the business. Always on time, always dependable. Call TX Racks for all your cooling, heating, and air quality needs. TX Racks is your go-to in Texas. Always ready to rack up on satisfied customers. Call TX Racks today.
We'll see you guys on the next episode of the Sailor Jimmy Podcast.
Oh.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Sailor Jimmy Podcast. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. For more information or to connect with Jimmy, check us out on the web at sailorjimmy.com, on Facebook at facebook.com/SailorJimmyTX, on Instagram at SailorJimmyTX, and on TikTok at SailorJimmy. We'll see you next time.